Did you know that the Mongols, who once ruled the largest contiguous empire in history, originated from small and humble beginnings? Yes, the Mongols, known for their horseback warfare and vast dominions, started their journey in the steppes of Central Asia. This expansive, windswept landscape of grasslands and deserts was their home, their battlefield, their entire world. In this harsh environment, they led a nomadic lifestyle, constantly on the move in search of pasture for their livestock. They weren't just wanderers, they were survivors. Their society was organized into clans and tribes, each one a tight-knit community bound by familial ties and shared responsibilities. These clans and tribes, though separate, shared common customs, language, and a deep respect for the harsh, beautiful land that shaped them. They were proud, fierce, and free, but their destiny was about to take a turn. Now let's delve into the life of the man who united these tribes and changed the course of history. Imagine living in a world where survival depends on unity, and yet you are exiled by your own tribe. This was the reality for Temujin, the man who would become Genghis Khan. Born into the Borjigin clan, young Temujin's life was far from easy. His father, a tribal leader, was poisoned when Temujin was just 9 years old. This left his family in a precarious position, vulnerable to the harsh realities of Mongol tribal politics. Without the protection of their patriarch, they were ostracized by their own kind, left to fend for themselves in the harsh conditions of the Mongolian steppe. Despite these challenges, Temujin was not a man to be defeated by circumstance. His early life was marked by struggles for survival, battles for power, and a determination that would shape the course of his destiny. In his teenage years, Temujin began to build alliances. He married his wife Borta, which created a crucial alliance with her tribe, and he started to gather a small but loyal following. He demonstrated a unique leadership style that was distinctly different from the tribal leaders of his time. While others led through fear and brute force, Temujin led with a forward-thinking vision, stressing the importance of loyalty and discipline. His rise to power was not immediate. It was a slow burn, marked by strategic alliances, victories in battle, and the implementation of innovative laws. His yasa, or code of laws, laid the groundwork for what would become the Mongol Empire. This code, which promoted equality, religious freedom, and meritocracy, was revolutionary for its time. It helped to unify the disparate Mongol tribes under a single banner. Temujin was eventually bestowed with the title of Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. This title was a testament to his leadership, his vision, and his ability to unify a fragmented people. Genghis Khan had now unified the Mongol tribes, but this was just the beginning of their story. A united Mongol nation did not mean a peaceful one. On the contrary, it marked the start of a relentless wave of conquest. The Mongols, now unified, were far from settling down. They were just getting started. With the vast steppes of Mongolia as their training ground, they honed a unique style of warfare, one that was swift, mobile, and utterly devastating. An essential part of this was their mastery of horseback combat. The Mongols were born in the saddle, and their horses were more than just beasts of burden. They were partners in battle, extensions of the warriors themselves. The Mongols' horses were small but sturdy, capable of enduring long marches and harsh conditions. They were the ultimate war machines, carrying the Mongols across vast distances at breathtaking speed. This allowed the Mongols to strike with a swiftness that left their enemies reeling, unable to mount a proper defense. The Mongols' tactics were as innovative as they were ruthless. They used feigned retreats to lure their enemies into traps. They used psychological warfare, spreading fear and confusion among their foes. They were masters of the hit and run, striking hard and fast before melting away into the landscape. Under the leadership of Genghis Khan, the Mongols expanded their empire at an astonishing pace. From the vast plains of Mongolia, they spread out in all directions, sweeping across Asia and into Europe. They toppled empires, razed cities, and rewrote the map of the world. Their brutal reputation preceded them, spreading fear in their wake. But it wasn't all destruction. The Mongols also built. They established trade routes, promoted cultural exchange, and brought a certain kind of order to the lands they conquered. They were brutal conquerors, yes, but they were also innovative administrators. The Mongols were now a force to be reckoned with, their empire stretching across Asia. their influence would be felt for centuries to come, shaping the course of history in ways we are still discovering today. Genghis Khan's death in 1227 did not mark the end of the Mongol Empire, but rather the beginning of a new era. In the grand tapestry of history, the passing of the great Khan was merely a shift in the narrative, a turn of the page. It was following his death that the Mongol Empire, vast and powerful, was divided among his sons, a decision that would shape the course of the world for centuries to come. Genghis Khan's eldest son, Yochi, was given the westernmost portion of the empire, a region that would later be known as the Golden Horde. His second son, Chagatai, inherited Central Asia and northern Iran. The heart of the empire, Mongolia and China, went to his third son, Ogadai, who was also appointed the Great Khan. Tolui, the youngest, was granted a smaller territory in eastern Mongolia. But the Mongol Empire did not cease its expansion with the death of its founder. Under the leadership of Genghis Khan's sons and grandsons, it continued to grow, stretching its tendrils across the globe. The Mongols invaded Europe, the Middle East, and even ventured into the heart of Africa. One of the most significant developments in this new era was the establishment of the Yuan dynasty in China. Kublai Khan, a grandson of Genghis Khan, founded the dynasty in 1271. He embraced Chinese culture and traditions, even adopting a Chinese dynastic name, Yuan, which means origin of the universe. Under his rule, the Mongols became more than just conquerors. They became administrators, lawmakers, and patrons of the arts. Kublai Khan's reign marked a period of cultural synthesis and exchange, where the Mongols' nomadic traditions melded with the sophisticated civilization of China. Even after his death, Genghis Khan's legacy lived on in the empire he had built. His influence can still be seen today, not just in the borders of modern nations, but in the cultural, economic, and political landscapes that were shaped by the Mongol conquests. From the steppes of Mongolia to the heart of China, the mark of the Great Khan endures. All empires eventually fall, and the Mongol Empire was no exception. As the world's largest contiguous empire, its decline was as spectacular as its rise. The Mongol Empire started to crumble in the late 13th century, largely due to internal conflicts. Following the death of Kublai Khan in 1294, the empire began to fragment into independent khanates. The lack of a clear line of succession led to power struggles and civil wars as different factions vied for control. This internal discord was compounded by the logistical challenges of maintaining control over such a vast territory. External pressures also contributed to the Mongol Empire's downfall. The Mongol invasions of Japan in 1274 and 1281 ended in failure, severely draining resources. Meanwhile, the Mongol-ruled Yuan dynasty in China was overthrown in 1368, marking the end of Mongol dominance in Asia. Despite its decline, the Mongol Empire left a lasting impact on the regions it had conquered. It facilitated the spread of ideas, technologies, and cultures between the East and the West, an era often referred to as the Pax Mongolica, or Mongol Peace. In the Middle East, the Mongols destroyed the Abbasid Caliphate and established the Ilkhanate, significantly influencing the political and cultural landscape. In China, the Mongol Yuan dynasty introduced administrative changes that have shaped Chinese governance to this day. In Europe, the Mongols' advanced military tactics and psychological warfare left an indelible mark on warfare strategy. The fear they instilled, known as Mongol terror, continues to be studied in military academies around the world. The Mongols' legacy extends to the modern world. Many nations, including Russia, China, Iran, and Turkey, trace part of their historical roots to the Mongol Empire. The Mongolian language and script, as well as various cultural practices and traditions, are still alive today. The Mongols may have left the stage of history, but their influence continues to echo through the ages. Their fall was a turning point in world history, marking the end of the era of nomadic empires and paving the way for the rise of the modern nation-state. The Mongols, from humble beginnings to the rulers of the largest empire in history, have left an indelible mark on our world. We've journeyed through their early origins, a time of tribal divisions and nomadic existence, and witnessed the rise of a leader, Genghis Khan, who would forever change their trajectory. His leadership transformed the Mongols from disparate tribes to an unstoppable force on horseback, conquering wide swathes of land and establishing the largest empire the world has ever seen. Yet, even the mightiest of empires fall, and so did the Mongols. But their influence did not wane with their decline. In fact, they left a lasting impact on the world, shaping trade routes, cultures, and societies long after their reign. The Mongol story reminds us that even the most unlikely of beginnings can lead to extraordinary ends. Who knows what stories are yet to be written in the annals of history?